Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Okay, inshallah. So we did a bunch of um, sentences and ayahs last time, and we're going to do it again today. So our next ayah, I think we did it till أظل منكم جبلا كثيرا last time. So let's start with, no, I think we did, yeah, till جبلا كثيرا. So did we, do anybody of you remember till what sentence we reviewed last time? Let me just check so that we don't repeat the last session. Okay. Let's see, what was the last sentence we did? Yes. Safa. Yeah, just saw that. Jazakallahu khair. So our next would be فانتبذت به مكانا قصيا. Okay, this is a part of the ayah of Surah Maryam, ayah number 22. So fa is a starting letter, so we usually don't just harf of ataf. And it has no grammatical effect on the word after it, so we're going to ignore it for the time being. Intabadat. So intabadat is a fail. And can anybody tell me, is it a past tense fail or a present tense fail?
It's Madi.
Past tense.
It is past tense. Yes, it is fail in Madi. And does it have an inside doer or an outside doer?
Inside doer.
Inside
Yeah.
door.
Inside doer. And why do we say that? Because it is the
Sukun
clear
tabt.
version.
There's no rafa after it.
Yes, exactly. As there is no rafa ism coming after it, so we will exclude the possibility of it being an outside doer, and we will consider the inside doer. And inside doer is
Yeah.
here. Exactly. And in this case, it is referring to Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam. Alayhi salam. Okay.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
How can we identify whether it is past or
Present.
Madi? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if we look at the word tabadat, right? Now, in past tense and present tense, when we were doing the surf review, we did like past tense you recognize with the endings, and the present tense you recognize with the beginning and the
Ending.
endings, right?
Yeah.
So when we get a word and we, after eliminating the possibility of ism, we say
Mm.
it's a fail. So our next step is what type of fail. Now here in tabadat, right? So ignore this. We will just see the beginning
Mm.
and the ending. That's what we are concerned with. We are not concerned with this right now. We are concerned with the beginning and the ending. So beginning with is E. So we know that in the present tense we have a hamza in the beginning, but that hamza is ansuru, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the ana version, so it
Mm.
is a. Here we have e, so this possibility gets cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
So then it is not a present tense because the beginning is hamza and
E.
not ta, ya, noon, right? We
Yes. Yes.
excluded the possibility of it being hamza. So
Mm.
now what we do is we go to the past tense. And past tense, in past tense, we only see the endings. So we will try to find this ending in the past tense chart. So we do nasara, nasara, nasaru. No ending is matching. Then we go to the next. Nasa, rat, right? Your voice is cutting, so I can't understand what you're saying.
Right. Mm-hmm. I got it.
Okay, so that's how we're going to identify whether the fail that we are having is a past tense or a present tense. So this again will be if that we, with the past tense we learn the endings, and with the
Mm.
present tense the combination of the beginning and the endings.
Mm.
Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
Why, yeah. Okay. So now that we know that it is a here version past tense, we have another thing to find out, and that is what family is this?
اقترب.
Rabbi.
Family 8. Why? Because you have E beginning, ta after the fa kalma. So it is iqtaraba. Correct. It is FH family. Okay, now for now, these may just seem to be more information without any impact or translation, but all of this info, once we have, then we will able to know what the right translation will be depending on the families. As Taz said today, that inshallah we will do the fawaid surf, all of the implications, all of the meanings behind the different families. So inshallah, then all of these details will help us translate the word according to what it is in the Quran. Okay, so now we have the fail and we have the file. Essentially, the Jumla failure is done, right? So whatever is coming is access, and we will see it accordingly. Okay, so here again, as we said, that we will see whether the word that we're doing is connected in any way to the word after, because of course we have isms and fails and everything inside Jumla failure. So will there be a chain for a fail? Anybody?
No.
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 Right. So that chain only happens in isms. So our fail and file bucket is done. The file is inside, so that inside cannot have, um, in a way, what can we say, a chain, right? Because it is inside. Then we go on to the next word, bihi. What is bihi?
متعلق بالفعل.
It is first H J fragment,
HJ.
right? Okay, and he is the ism majroor. What are the properties of this?
Singular, jar, in this case, masculine and proper.
Exactly. Right? Okay. So for each and every word, you have to analyze it and then move forward. Right? This will help you again in the translation as well as making the links after it. Okay. He is a pronoun and makanan, as we know, because of the tanween, is an ism. So is there any relationship between the two?
No.
We have 6 fragments that we have done till now. What are those 6 fragments?
حرف عطف اسم موصول موصوف صفة
Mhm.
حرف جر حرف نصب and اسم إشارة مشار إليه.
Yes, an idafa. And you can add ismi mausul, although we haven't studied it, but ismi mausul with its sila also form a fragment. So inshallah, we'll do that when Ustad teaches it, but that's also a complex sort of fragment that we will do inshallah. So none of them are possible. So again, it's like what we do always. We end the bucket here, and this is your MBF, right?
Yeah.
And then next is makanan. And makanan is what?
An اسم because of the tanween.
It is an ism, exactly. And what are the 4 properties?
Singular,
Singular nasab
answer,
Right.
masculine,
Masculine and
common.
common. Right. Now, makanan, again, vocabulary will help us. Makanan is a word that is
a
used in Urdu
place.
as well as a place to stay or a place to rest or a place to be,
So
right?
is that a
Kana,
ظرف?
to be, right? So a place to be is makanan.
Mhm. Kana.
So we know that because of the nasab, what is this in Jumla failure terminology?
مفعول.
Maf'ul. And we know that we have 5 types of maf'ul. So now we have to go through the possibility of each, ask the question, and the question that is answered will uh, be the type of maf'ul it is. So first of all, maf'ul bihi. Does it answer the question of what? Fan
No.
tabadat means she withdrew bihi with him, right? I'll just write it here. She withdrew with him makanan. So a place, right?
Mm.
So does it answer the question of what or who?
No.
Okay. So mafula bihi is out. Then does it answer the question of why?
No.
Okay. So maful lahu is out. Does it answer the question how?
No.
So maful hal is out. Does it clarify or explain?
No.
No. So maful mutlaq is also out, right? It is a different word. It's not from the family of intabada. It does not mean similarly. So it's not maful mutlaq. So what are we left with?
مفعول فيه.
Where?
I know
Yes.
where. Yeah.
So as the answer is for where, this will be maful
Fi.
fihi, right? So we have to answer ask all of these questions, and there will be times when you will get answers to two. So it might be this maful or it might be that maful. And inshallah, when we go to balagha and when we go to translating ayahs and understanding them, this will play a very important role over there, right? So for now, it is maful fihi. Okay. So again, we have another word after it. So we need to see if this is something else or it's chained or connected. So qasiya means for, right? And it is after makanan. So it's an ism because of tanween. And what is the properties?
It is singular.
Singular nasab. Masculine and common.
Masculine, common.
And
Right.
it's describing a place.
And it is describing. So it is fulfilling all the three conditions of what?
موصوف صفة. It's a صفة, yeah.
Sifa. So this is sifa, and so that means maful fihi here is also mausuf, right?
Mhm.
So our bucket continues from makanan to qisiya. So this all will be termed as the maful fihi bucket. This is the MBF. This is the fail and file. So all of this together will be Jumla fi'liya. Okay. Any questions in this?
Yeah. So here you have written she withdraws with him. What does it mean?
She withdrew with him. This
Yeah,
is
she.
when, this is
When she was going
when
to give birth.
birth, and she went to a place that was far away from the town or city or wherever that she lived, and there were people. So she withdrew from there in her last time of giving birth, and she went to a far away place to be alone and to give birth, right? So in tabada is from nabada, and I'm looking at the dictionary. I'll tell you about the real meaning of the word. So nabada excuse me. Nabada yanbidu is actually to throw, to fling, but when it comes in family 8, the meaning becomes to withdraw, retire, retreat, to step aside, withdraw to one side, to retreat into a corner.
Mhm.
So you see how different the different meanings from the family is. In family 1, let me
Mm.
click this. In family 1, you have noon ba dal, right?
Mm.
So in family 1, you have the word nabada. This is family 1 because there are no extra letters. And in family 8, you have extra letters. You have iqtaraba.
Mhm.
So when these root letters come in family 8, they take on the mold and they become in
Tabaza.
tabada, exactly, right? And
Mm.
this means to withdraw,
Mhm.
to retreat, and this means to throw.
अच्छा अच्छा
So family makes a big difference in translating a word correctly.
हम्म
So we just learned the tool, but what
हम्म
it does, we still have to learn.
हम्म
Okay, next ayah. This is also Surah Maryam, and the next ayah, it is 1923 ayah. Surah 1923 ayah. Okay. Fa again is a starting letter, so we will ignore it as it does not have a grammatical effect on the word after it. Aja'a, it is aja'aha. I'm sorry. This is one word. Aja'aha. Okay. Now to decide. Aja'aha. Is it one or two words?
two words
Two words.
Two words. Right. Because whenever we are not sure, we break the word. So we have aja'a plus ha. So ha is our attached pronoun. So we have to decide whether this is a fail or a ism. Can anybody tell me if it's a fail or an ism?
it is a fail
It's an ism. Hold on.
Okay, we have a slight disagreement. So let's start with ism because always eliminate ism first and then go to the fail. So we'll just follow that process. Ism. So if it's an ism, then the haraka here is telling us that it is nasab,
yeah
right?
mm-hmm.
مضاف مضاف إليه.
But there's no reason for it to be like,
I was
yeah.
thinking مضاف مضاف إليه because the ha, it's
Yes,
not
that is perfectly possible, right? If you're taking it as an ism, then of course it will be mudaf and mudaf ilay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that as it was said that if we do take it as a mudaf, right? It is light and no one.
yeah
So you have light and you have nasab. This, if it's an ism, it's in nasab status. It is light. So we have four reasons for an ism to be light, right?
yeah
So we eliminated the three, and you're saying that this is mudaf and mudaf ilay. So now we go to what we consider mudaf, because if this is mudaf and mudaf ilay, then this will be mudaf. And I told you that this mudaf is in nasab status. So why is it in nasab status? Because the default status when an ism starts a sentence is,
Rafa.
but here we have nasab. And remember what we studied in ism when we started, that the default status of an ism is always rafa.
Rafa.
If it is in
Rafa.
nasab or jar status, then there is a reason.
Mm.
So is there any reason over here for it to be a nasab?
No.
No. Right. Because there is no reason for it to be a nasab. And another thing is that we discussed this last time. We are also going to see if it is on the scale of a past tense, present tense, fail, amar, fail, nahi, whatever. And we see that the past tense has a fatha at the end
Mm.
in the Hua version, right? Nasara, daraba.
Mm-hmm.
So this and this are likely to be the same thing because of these reasons. Is that clear? Or is there still confusion?
Yeah.
Ja'a is one word or two words? Because
Aja'a is one word and ha is another.
no, Ja'a, I think is question word. Isn't it?
Oh, yes. No, it is. It isn't. It's a part of the Ja'a yaji'u aja'a. This is family four, right?
Okay. I think it's a question.
Yeah. It's a great great thinking that it might be, but it isn't, because we are also going to be, when we are deciding whether fail an ism, another very important thing that will be very final in decision is the scale of the word,
Yeah.
right? Remember we did mashraba last time, and mashraba turned out to be an ism from the sarf saghir we did, right?
Yeah.
So the scale of the word will be a very important indicator for us to know whether the word is an ism or a fail if we are unsure. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And in the future, we still have to do a lot of this. So it's going to be hard right now. But in the future, this scale of the word and the root letters will help us determine the meaning of the word and what it is.
Mm-hmm. You know,
Okay?
sister, Aja is some or a fail. Can we
That,
go through the process for the exam?
sorry, your voice is so.
She said,
Uh,
is Aja a fi'l or ism? She wants you to go through the process again one more time, if you don't mind.
oh, okay. Sure, sure. No problem at all. Okay, so when we are trying to recognize a word, what we do is we start with it being possibly an ism, and then we work our way up to whether it's an ism or a fail. So with isms, right, we know that tanween and we know that al are the easiest and the most easiest ways to see whether the word is an ism or a fail. But here
Yes.
you don't have tanween, you just have a fatha, and then you don't have al, so it's hard to understand whether it is a fail or a ism. So let's take the possibility that this is an ism, And then if it's an ism, then it is in the nasab state, right? Because Hamza has a fatha on it. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So yeah, so we will take it as nasab. Now, the reason that we have a problem with this word being nasab is that we know that isms by default are rafa. If they don't have any connection to something before it, or if it's starting a new sentence and there's no reason, what are the reasons for isms being nasab? Either it will be inna, right, in the beginning,
Yeah. Yes.
right? Or it will be if it's mudaf mudaf ilayh, then a harf nida,
Mhm.
right? Then it might
Yes.
be,
A
sorry,
maf'ul.
yes, it might be maful, because a maful can come before a fail and it is in a nasab status. But then if we see that here, we will, if this is an ism and we take it as a maful because it is in nasab status, then where is the fail?
Mhm.
If we say this is an ism, so then of course if it's a maful, it's in nasab, then where is the fail? Because you have ha, that's a pronoun, it's an ism. Al makhadu, it's an ism because of al. Ila is a harf of jar. After it the word is light, but it has jar, and because it is coming after ila and being jar, so that's an ism, right? And an nakhlati is also an ism al. So this possibility is right out, not over there. Harf nida is not there. So all of the
Mhm.
reasons for this being nasab you are cancelling. So if it is not nasab, then of course it's not an ism,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So then what possibility is left?
Well.
Fail. And then of course, this will be easier. This is still tricky. This will be easier once we are very familiar with the scales of fail of all the families
Mhm.
and the root letters, so that we can see whether which root letters are coming in what families, and if they are and they match a fail in those, in the surface agir that we did, right? Aslama yuslimu islaman fahuwa muslimun, all of that
Mhm.
is surface agir. So
Mhm.
then we can match whether it's a fail from surface agir or an ism from surface agir.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And ajaa is very hard right now also because it is a weird word, and that's
Mhm.
why it's not rhyming with the F4 family. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
Why? Okay, so now that we have ascertained the first step, that it is a fair, so we'll go on analyzing it as we analyze the fails while analyzing Jumla failure. So it's a lot of analyzing. Okay, فَأَجَاءَهَا. Now, ajaa is your fail. So is it a past tense fail or a present tense fail?
Past tense.
Yes, it is a past tense fail. Again, Aja is starting with a Hamza. So it could be the present tense ana version, right?
Mhm.
But we know that ana, an, suru. So the present tense version has a dhamma at the end. Here you have fatha,
Fatha.
right? So it cannot be the present tense ana version. So of course we go to the past tense. Okay, and because it has fatha on the end, aja'a, what version is this?
What version of family 4?
Yes, it is nasara. Huwa nasara. So it has a fatha ending. So aja'a is a huwa version.
Okay.
Now, is it as it is a huwa version? So there is a possibility of an outside doer. Is there an outside doer here?
Yes.
Yes. Al-Makhadu.
Yes. Just a second, please. Okay. Yes. So it's a Hua version. And yes, you're correct because we have um, an ism in Rafa and after. So this is the
Outer door.
outside doer, right? Okay. And we saw that it is family 4. So this is another of our questions answered, how we analyze a fail. As we haven't done it yet, so no worries if you don't get it right now. So it's a Hua version, and because it's a Hua version, so there was a possibility for an outside doer. We have a Rafa ism and it is after, so it is following the conditions of the outside doer. So your file is here. What is this? Ha.
Will be here attached pronoun.
It is an ism.
It's
It is an
feminine.
attached pronoun. What are the properties?
It's
Singular.
Singular,
Proper.
feminine.
nasab, feminine, singular, proper.
Exactly. So it is nasab. It is attached to a fail. So what will it be?
Will
Singular.
be he.
Maful be, because attached pronouns when they're attached to a fail will be nasab always and will always be maful bihi, right? So it's very easy to see what type of maful it is. It will always be attached pronouns, will always be maful bihi. Okay, we already know that al-makhadu is a file. So here we have the bucket ending because there is no relation between ha and al. And then, is there any relation between al-makhadu and ila?
No.
No.
No relation is possible, correct? So your file bucket has ended. So this is your file bucket, this is your fail, and this is your maful bihi. Okay. What is ila?
Harf al-jar.
Arpeggio.
And what is, does it have any relationship with the word that's coming afterwards?
Yeah.
Majroor.
It's an
Yes,
ism.
because it is in the jar, it's an ism, right? And it is in the jar status. And with jar status, we know that fails cannot be majroor. Okay? So it's pretty easy that if you see a word that is in jar status, it will be most of the time, the majority of the time, an ism. And it is, so it is jar. And what are the 4 properties?
Singular, masculine, and
Was it?
proper because of
Is it?
the mudaf ilayh.
It is proper, yes. Sorry, someone was asking something?
I was just gonna say, why is it that, in the previous it's got the ha, which is feminine. I would have assumed that something else is feminine. Or is it just ja that's feminine? No. I thought something would have been feminine because it used the feminine pronoun attached.
But Aja'a is a Hua version too. So you've got both.
No, it's look like she's getting confused with Tay Marbuta and Hamza at the end. It shows the sign of the female.
No. I'm saying is that if you look at the first, the fi'l, it's got a ha, which is a feminine. The attached pronoun is ha, which is feminine. I was just wondering why that is.
Because maybe it's
But
referring to the
once
baby. I mean,
yeah,
Maryam alayhi salam alayha.
we
Then she
we
drove
will
away.
go. Yeah, we will see with each word and vocabulary, and then we'll see if there is a relationship in between, right? Because pronouns generally refer to something that is before them rather than something that is after them. And in fail, if you have an inside pronoun, then it is either the doer or it is referring to a doer. So here, because al-makhadu is masculine, right? We did not analyze this, so I apologize. This is Rafa, this is singular, this is masculine, and this is proper. So the Hua here is referring to this, right? Are you getting what I'm saying about the Hua?
Yes.
Okay. So now Ha is a pronoun, attached pronoun. Pronouns are usually referring to something that was said before, right? Like, for example, if I say, Ustad explained Jumla Filya yesterday, but today he, right? I use the pronoun he to refer to the use of Ustad in the previous sentence, right?
Right now it makes sense. I understand what you mean. Because
So
usually you
it's
have the
not
individual's name and then when you use the pronoun, you meant to mention the person.
exactly.
Okay, got
So
it.
usually like 98% of the time, such pronouns like ha, attached pronouns, refer to something before. Okay?
Yeah.
There are certain exceptions, but those are advanced and we are not going to come upon them right now. So it's safe to say that if you see an independent pronoun or an attached pronoun, that it is referring to something that has been said before. Okay? Well, yeah. That was a great point. Uh, we are doing it by default, but never with thinking about it. So Jazakallahu khair for that. Okay, so ila and jizai are ism jar and majroor. Sorry, harf jar and ism majroor.
MB, MB.
So your bucket is, yes, ila and jiza and related. This is your MBF.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have one word left, right? We are analyzing word by word. So now we have one word left. Is it an ism or a fail?
Listen, because of
It's
Tamarbuta.
Al.
And al. Right. Tamarbuta and al. Both are signs of ism. Excellent. Okay. Then we will analyze it. What is its four properties?
jar, singular, feminine, proper.
Yeah, singular, feminine, proper.
Proper. So this is jar. It is coming after ism majroor, which is also light and no al. So it is most probably what?
What? Mudaf.
Mudaf. So this will become,
Mudaf ilayh.
so your bucket continues till the end. So the whole bucket is what?
MBF.
متعلق
MBF.
متعلق
Muta'alliq.
بالفعل.
Fulfill.
Fail. Excellent. So now you have fail, you have your file, you have your maful bihi, and you have your muta'alliq bil fail. So this is what? A
Jumla Filya.
jumla fi'liya.
I wanted to ask you
And
one question. The JIS-E, how come you said it was proper when you analyzed that on its own?
Because they looked at
no, because yes, when we're not sure about a property, I jumped ahead. I apologize.
Oh, you took it from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then what we'll do is we'll first say or see because we're undecided,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So then when we establish the relationship with the next word, so we know that mudaf ilay is the decider of the type of the mudaf. So because you have al here, then it will be proper. So then we will erase this. Okay. Okay. Any other questions in this? Is this clear?
Yes, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. Let's do other jala rabbuka tahtaki sariya. And this is the next ayah, 1924, Surah Maryam. Okay. I'll just delete this for now so I can have space to do the analysis. Okay. Qad, we haven't done it as yet, but it usually has an impact on the meaning, but not so much on the word. So we're going to ignore this. Ja'ala. Is it an ism or a fail?
it's a
فعل
field.
Fail.
فعل ماضي
Fail madi, right. Because it is 3 letters and it is ending with a fatha. This is a fail. What type of fail? Past tense. And what is the inside dua?
Huwa.
Hua. So it gives us an option of looking for an outside. Is there an outside dua?
Rabbuka.
Rabbu.
Yes, we have a yes, we have an ism, rafa, and after. So this is our outside
دوا
dua. And this is F1, right? Fail. 3 letters only. So it is an F1 fail. Okay, then Rabbu is the outside dua. Then it has an attached pronoun. So we know that this is an ism. So it is also light and no al. So this becomes
Mudaf.
mudaf. So ka is the attached pronoun. So ka becomes ism, attached pronoun. What is the 4 properties?
Singular.
Jar,
جار singular
singular, masculine, and proper.
Yes. So it is jar after mudaf. So it will be mudaf ilayhi. So this whole bucket will be your file. Can there be any relation between ka and tahta?
No.
No, because of the fragments that we did. It can't be mawsuf sifa because it's a pronoun. It can't be idafa, it's a pronoun. It cannot be an ism ishara because there's no ism ishara here. So pointer fragment is out. Inna is out. Harf jar is out. Then you have ataf. There is no ataf here. Then you don't have any ism mausul. So no relationship is possible. So then what happens is that our bucket ends here and you have your file bucket done. So you have your fail. Oh, this is F1. So you have your fail
Concerned
here.
about one thing here. Sorry. Why is it jar rabbuka?
What is jar?
I don't know. You got J1MP. I just came
Oh,
in now.
okay. Ka. Ka is an attached pronoun, right?
Right.
And we know that attached pronouns,
And nasab or
status
jar,
wise,
right?
they can be either nasab or jar. And how
Right.
do we decide which one? If the attached pronoun is attached to a fail, it is nasab. And if it is attached to an ism, it is jar. So Rabbu is a fail or an ism?
And ism.
It is an ism. It is the name of God, of Allah, one of the names. So if it's attached to an ism, then what will we take it as?
Take it as jar.
Yes, because it
Okay.
is mudaf ilay. When an attached pronoun attaches
Right.
to an ism, it becomes mudaf and mudaf ilay. And because we
Yeah.
know that mudaf ilay is always jar.
Yes, right now I remember. Okay,
Alhamdulillah.
thank
You're welcome. Okay. So now we start a new bucket. And this is tahtaki. So is it one word or two word?
Two words.
you.
Words.
Two words. So one is tahta. I apologize for my tahta. It's just gone all wacky. Right. Tahta plus ki. Okay, what is tahta?
It's an
Is it an ism or
special.
a fail?
Special muda.
Yes. So, because we've studied what it is, so we don't need to go through all this ism and the fail elimination process. We know what it is. It is one of the special mudafs. And is an special mudaf ism or a fail?
The ism.
Ism.
It is ism. And what is the properties, four properties of the ism?
Nas.
What is?
Nasab singular, masculine, and
Yes.
it's
Nasab and with the number and gender, any number and gender can come. So we'll just write gender and number, right?
oh,
And then it is,
proper because of key.
yeah, it can be proper or common. We have to decide. So here we see because it is mudaf. It is already mudaf. We call it special mudaf. So it is light and no al. So then we go to the next and it is an attached pronoun. It is, what are the four properties of this?
Can be nasab or jar.
Can be nisab and jar, but we already know that it is attached to an ism. So what can it be?
Yeah.
Jar.
Yes, because it is mudaf and the ism attached pronoun after it will be in the jar status, right? Then it is
Singular,
singular
feminine, and
Feminine.
proper.
and proper. And So here, because this is proper, it is mudaf ilay. So we will finally decide that the tahta is also proper. Okay. Then, so tahtaki is one bucket. It is one bucket. So tahtaki, what will it be?
مفعول فيه.
Because it is in the nasab status, we are going to take our status from the mudaf. Remember, we take the type from the mudaf ilay, but as to what role it is playing in the sentence, the mudaf will decide that. So here the mudaf is in nasab status, and we know that when we have fail file and then we have an ism in nasab status, what does it become?
Oh,
Maf'ul.
Maf'ul. Right. And maf'ul, what type of maf'ul it is now? Our next
Maf'ul
question
oh,
is,
bihi.
if it's answering tahtaki, what does it mean? Tahta means
Under
under,
below you.
you.
below you, yes, under you, below you. So
Yeah.
is it a maful bihi? Is it answering what and who?
No.
So it
Yeah.
can't be a maful bihi. Is it answering the question how?
No.
Okay. Is it answering the question why?
Mhm.
No.
Okay. Is it answering the question where?
Yes.
إيه.
Yeah.
Because this is zarf, right? Time and space. What do we
Mhm.
call these special mudafs? Special mudafs of time and space. Time and space come in
Fihi. Maf'ul
maful
fihi.
fihi,
Mm.
right? This is how we're going to do. We're going to say all those 5 questions in our heads, and then we're going to decide which question is that word answering correctly, and that's how we will decide what type of maful it will be. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have another ism because of the tanween. We know it's an ism. So, is there any possibility between ki and sariya to be connected?
No.
No, because it's a pronoun. It cannot be a mausuf. It cannot be a mudaf. It is not a pointerism. It is not a harf of nasab. It is not a harf of jar. It is certainly not an ismi mausul or harf ataf. So none of those relationship work. So your maful bihi bucket
Hence.
ends. And so we have to analyze Sariya by itself. Okay, so I'm going to just delete a little part of this because of restriction of the page. Okay, I'm gonna keep this. Okay, Sariya. So we know that it's an ism because of the tanween. Analyze the ism, please.
Nasab,
Nasab.
singular,
Singular. Masculine.
masculine, common.
Okay. So then it's also a nasab ism. So what will it be?
Maf'ul.
Maf'ul,
The maful.
Hmm. It's a maful. And Sariya means a stream, right?
Mm.
So Jala, he made Rabbuka, your Lord, tahtaki, under you, a stream. So what type of maful is it? Is it a what or who maful? What did he
Yeah.
make or who did he make? Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
So what will it
Midstream.
be?
مفعول به.
Fihi.
Maful bihi.
Fihi.
Okay?
I have a question. You know, Saria, doesn't that look like a masdar? If that is the case, then wouldn't it be something else?
It will be sariyun, right? In its default.
Mm.
And I don't think that there is a master by this scale.
Okay.
Inshallah, when we do more isms and more type of isms, we are going to do the scales as well. Like for example, remember we did ismi tafdeel, and if the ismi tafdeel is always afalu, akbaru, right? So
Yeah.
every ism, every type of ism, every type of word in actually fail and ism in Arabic has a scale, which will make it easier for us to determine what type of ism it is. Okay, so it means stream, but in essence, a stream is a thing. It's not an idea, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a masdar,
Okay.
because masdar you need to have an idea or name of an action without the time in it.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so let's go to our next sentence, inshallah, and then we'll wrap it up. There are, of course, many sentences, but we'll come back to Jumla failure because we are doing more Jumla failure with start these days. So inshallah, we'll come back to it after we've done abnormal sentence structure in Jumla Ismiya. And we'll also do the abnormal sentence structure in Jumla failure. So we'll do more Jumla failure then. Okay, let's see. Yes, any question?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
Mm, Multahada, this is does anybody know which surah it is? It's so familiar, but I
Kahf.
can't.
Surah
Kahf,
Kahf.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Jazakallah khair. It is Surah Kahf. Okay. I forgot to write the ayah number. So you can find that inshallah. Okay. Wa is a harf of ataf, right? So we are gonna ignore it as it has no bearing, a grammatical bearing on the later right now. It might be having something in the beginning, but because we aren't considering that, so we'll ignore it. Lan. What is lan?
Light.
An lan likai.
Idan
Hatta is, yeah, li. Not hatta, sorry. Tali. Okay, I'm confusing myself. Light harf.
Ayah
Then
number 27.
Jazakallahu khairan kathiran kathiran. Okay, light harf. Tajida.
Slight.
Yeah, this is actually a weird word. It is wajada yajidu. So from yajidu you get tajidu, and from tajidu, because of the light harf, it becomes tajida. How did we come from wajada to yajidu? This will be what we will be doing in advanced surf, inshallah. Right?
Start
So
with
for
that word.
now, sorry?
It has the vowel wow, which is weak.
Yes, exactly. It has the haruf illa. This is harf illa, weak letter. So it does weird things to the word after it. So inshallah, we'll study it when we come to that. So tajida is your light. Present tense. Okay, what version is this?
Yeah,
Nine.
oh,
Yes.
Okay.
So it can be you or she,
yes,
right?
yes.
But with the context, it is you.
Mm.
Okay, you will not find. Wajada means to find. You will not find. You will never find, right? Because it is lan. You will never find. So, of course, this is a fail. So there is no chain in it. So your fail and this is you, she. So there was a possibility if you were taking it as a she that there was an outside doer, but there's no ism in Rafa status. So that even is not possible. So you have you here as the inside file. So your fail and file are done. Min, what is min?
Harf of jar.
Harf
That's
jar.
good.
And dunihi.
Duni special mudaf.
Duni is special mudaf.
Is attached from.
And it is, what is, it is in jar status,
Yes.
right? And because it is in jar status, so it is connected to min.
Mm.
It is an ism. And because it is an ism, it is,
Mudaf.
yes,
Yes.
light and noel. And of course, because it is mudaf, we call it mudaf, so it is. And he is the attached pronoun, which is an ism. What are the four properties of the pronoun?
Jar singular masculine proper.
Excellent. And what is it? Because it is jar after a mudaf, what will it be?
Dafile.
Mudaf ilay. Exactly. Excellent. So your bucket is continuing min duni he. Is there any relationship between he pronoun and multahada?
No.
No.
No. All the 6 or 7 possibilities that are there are not possible. So your bucket ends. So what is min dunihi? What
The
will we
alif
call
bil
it?
fi'l.
MB.
The alif will
MBF.
be
MBF.
MBF.
مقدم. Oh wait, wouldn't be مقدم.
Excellent. Yes, that is muqaddam. Good catch. Jazakallah khair. Okay. And then multahada. What is this? Is it a fail or an ism?
Ism. Because of
Ism.
Because of tanween, it's an ism. Excellent. So if it's an ism, what do we do?
O property.
Yes. What are the properties?
Nasab.
nasab, singular,
Common.
masculine, common.
Okay. Right. So I forgot multahada. What does it mean? It means oneness. Ahada. Just let me check. Okay.
I think a refuge is a thing.
Is it? Yeah, it is. Just let me
Never
check.
will you find in other than him a refuge.
A refuge. Okay. So you can never find other than him. What question is being answered? Who or what?
What?
What? What can you not find apart from him, other than him, besides him? Is a refuge. So this is nasab. So it will be maful. And what type of maful?
مفعول به
Maful bihi.
به
Yes. And I'm trying to see if it's also maful fihi. Muqtaraba. No, it can't. It is okay. If we see iqtaraba yaqtaribu iqtiraban, then we have muqtaribun. Muqtaribun has a kasra, so it cannot be this. But if we do the passive line, uqturiba,
يقترب
yes.
اقترابا
And what will be the ism maful?
تراب.
مقتربة.
مقترب
Muqtarabun. And we know that in the big eight families, ism zarf is the same as ism maful, isn't it?
yes
Yeah.
So it is actually multahadun. So this is an ism zarf. And ism zarf means time and place. So it is maful fihi. Okay?
okay
So you see how sarf and the meaning, because we're saying it's a refuge. Refuge means a place where you feel safe, isn't it?
yes
Yeah.
So it can be maful fihi. It is maful fihi actually, because it is isme zarf. Okay?
okay so not مفعول به
It can be, as it also answers what. But because it is by essentially the word itself is a place and time, so it will be better to call it
مفعول فيه
maful fihi.
okay
Okay?
okay
So what would be the question that you would ask? Where
Where?
would you?
Yes. So you will never find, apart from God, anywhere, any place to be safe. Right?
right
Yeah.
Okay. So we are at the end of our session. Any question or any suggestion or anything that you want to review after in our next session?
I think lesson kind of would be a good idea.
and also
Yeah.
some Ustaz said MBF could be مفعول can we do like that sentence
Yes, MBF can be a maful. So, walan tajida, you will never find min dunihi, apart from him. So, you will never find what? Right?
okay
So, it can be a maful bihi. fi mahalli nasab, if we follow that rule.
مفعول
But
به.
min dunihi is beside. No, min duni is special mudaf of time and space. So I think
Okay.
it will be where. So it can be maf'ul bihi and maf'ul fihi here as well. So let's keep it simple for now. Inshallah, we'll be studying more of it and we can see if it makes sense to make the mutaliq bil fail also maf'ul in that sense, or do we need to do it everywhere, or we can, there are certain rules about where we can and cannot, so we haven't done that as yet. So we can ask Ustad that question, inshallah.
Okay. جزاك الله خير.
وياك وياك. Okay, any more questions? Okay, so then inshallah we will end our session here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
وعليكم السلام.